It was really hard work. I really loved dogs, and for many years I couldn't have dogs where I lived, and so I loved being with the dogs, but I just saw so many things that it was just made it really hard to take. But I felt like if I left, then they wouldn't have somebody that would play with them or give them treats.
What are some of the kinds of things that you saw?
Well, I saw a lot of deaths that could have been prevented with medical care. I would report on what if I had to move animals because they were pregnant, just different things like that, or if somebody died. And if I noticed that somebody was sick, a lot of times they walked on the cage floors and their feet would really swell up and be weeping, or dogs that didn't get along with each other and needed to be split up. Just different medical problems where somebody was acting really sick, they never got the medical care, and so they just eventually ended up dying. I stayed there for 3 years because I thought I was making a difference, individually in the dogs' lives. But when I finally left, it was because I realized that whether I was there or not, that it wasn't, the suffering was still going to go on, and I had lived through some pretty bad experiences there that I felt really affected me, that I guess I wish, since I had no control over the situation to make it better, I wish I hadn't lived through that.
What kind of experiences?
It happened a couple times in a large dog pen for the large dogs. There were golden retrievers and labs and a standard poodle that they were supposed to mate with, and suddenly they decided to pick on a golden retriever, and they wouldn't stop, and they were just being really vicious. And I went in there, probably shouldn't have, but I went in there, and I got the shovel and I'm hitting them with the shovel, and they won't let go of her, and spraying water, and they still wouldn't let go of her. And I was finally able to drag her out the gate, but she died from her injuries. And then it happened probably 2 weeks later with another similar dog, and I started trying what I did before, and it wasn't working, and I just had to walk away, and I could just hear her screaming, and her dead body was in there the next day when I came to work.
Did the owners know about this?
Yes.
Okay, so had you reported it to them?
Yes.
And what was their response?
Well, they didn't really have one.
Okay.
I guess I didn't know places like that existed. I was, excited to work with dogs and had no idea that places like that could exist, and it seemed like it was okay, because especially when it was when the vet came out and looked, and it just seemed like it was in that that line of business that the standards are really low, and I didn't know that.